The purpose of this module is to help you in understanding tools used in Photoshop. This module covers the following topics: retouching tools, working with layers, working with text, using filters. In the previous chapter, you learnt about the various drawing and painting tools in Photoshop. But how would you edit an image? The answer lies in the set of retouching tools available in Photoshop. In this chapter, you will learn about a few of them. You will also learn about layers and filters that help you work with images in a better way. Retouching tools. The retouching tools help to change or edit the pixel arrangements in an image. These tools can be used on a selection or on an entire image. Some of the retouching tools in Photoshop include Spot Healing Brush Tool, Patch Tool, Red Eye Tool, Clone Stamp Tool, Eraser Tool, Blur Tool, Smudge Tool, Dodge Tool, Burn Tool, and Sponge Tool. Let us learn about these in detail. Spot Healing Brush Tool. The Spot Healing Brush Tool can remove blemishes, scars, spots, and other imperfections from a photograph. You can simply click and drag the mouse pointer across the affected area and the flaw disappears. Open an image with some flaws. Select the Spot Healing Brush tool from the Tools panel. Specify the following in the Options bar: brush size, type. Choose from Proximity Match or Create Texture. Sample all layers. Select to sample data from all visible layers. Deselect this option to sample data from the active layer only. Click the area you want to fix, or click and drag to remove the flaws. Clone Stamp Tool. The Clone Stamp tool can clone or duplicate selected areas of an image. The steps to use the tool are as follows. Open an image. Click on the Clone Stamp tool in the Tools panel. Hold down the Alt key, click the part of the image you want to clone, and release the Alt key. Click and drag the mouse over the area where you want to place the cloned pixels. Eraser Tool. The Eraser tool can erase portions of an image. It has three options. Eraser Tool. Background Eraser Tool erases parts of an image and makes it transparent. If the image has multiple layers, it erases the pixels of the background layer. Magic Eraser Tool erases pixels from similarly colored areas. The steps to use the different eraser tools are: open an image, click the Eraser tool in the Tools panel. Select the eraser mode in the Options bar. The shape of the eraser tool changes according to your selection. Brush the Eraser tool takes the shape of a brush. The eraser strokes are like those of the Paintbrush tool. Pencil the Eraser tool takes the shape of a pencil. The eraser strokes are like those of the Pencil tool. Block the Eraser tool takes the shape of a wooden block of fixed size. Set the value for opacity in the Options bar. Click and drag on the area to be erased. Blur tool. The Blur tool can blur or soften an image or part of an image. The steps to use it are: open an image. Click on the Blur tool in the Tools panel. In the Options bar, you can do the following. Select the appropriate brush from the palette in the Options bar. Set options for the blending mode and strength. Select Sample All Layers in the Options bar to blur using data from all visible layers. If this option is deselected, the tool uses data from only the active layer. Click and drag on the image to blur the pixels. Smudge tool. The smudge tool creates an effect like wet paint smudged with a finger. The steps to use this tool are: open an image, select the smudge tool in the Tools panel. In the Options bar, you can do the following. Choose the brush type. Select the blending mode. Select Sample All Layers to smudge using color data from all visible layers. Select Finger Painting if you want to smudge using the foreground color at the beginning of each stroke. If this option is deselected, then the smudge tool uses the color under the pointer at the beginning of each stroke. Click and drag on the image to smudge an area. Dodge tool. The Dodge tool can make darker portions of an image lighter. The steps to use this tool are: open an image. Select the Dodge tool in the Tools panel. Click the arrow next to Brush in the Options bar. Select a soft edge brush to get better results. Select the range and set the value of exposure in the Options bar. Click and drag the mouse on the image area to lighten the pixels. Burn tool. The Burn tool is used to darken the pixels in an image. The steps to use it are: open an image, use any of the selection tools to select an area to darken, or you can darken the whole image. Select the Burn tool in the Tools panel. In the Options bar, set the exposure percentage. Drag the brush over the image to darken it. Working with layers. Layers allow you to work with one element of an image without disturbing the others. You can think of layers as transparent sheets stacked one on top of the other. You can see through transparent areas of a layer to the layers below. A new image in Photoshop has a single layer. You can add a number of additional layers. Layers palette. The Layers palette lists all the layers, groups, and layer effects in an image. You can use the Layers palette to show and hide layers, create new layers, delete layers, etc. To display the Layers palette, select Window Layers. Background layer. The background is a special layer. It is created automatically when you create a new image. An image can only have one background layer. It is behind all the other layers and you cannot change its position. You cannot delete it, move its contents, or change the opacity, but you can convert it into a regular layer. All the other layers that you add will appear above the background layer. The following cannot be done on the background layer. You cannot move the contents of the background layer. You cannot move the background layer above any other layer. You cannot move any other layer below the background layer. The background layer does not support transparency. Renaming the background layer. Select Layer, New Layer from Background. The New Layer dialog box appears. Type a new name for the layer. The default is Layer 0. Click OK. Now you can see the name of the background layer changed to the new layer name, creating a new layer. When you add a new layer, it is always above the selected layer. The steps to create a new layer are: choose Layer, New Layer. The New Layer dialog box appears. Set the following options. The default name of the new layer is Layer 1. You can change it to any other name you want. Click the drop-down menu arrow in the Color text box and select a color for the layer. Set the opacity value. Click OK. You will see a new blank layer in the Layers palette. Selecting Layers. You can select one or more layers to work on them. For activities such as painting, drawing, and editing, you can work on only one layer at a time. The selected layer is called the active layer. To select a layer, click the layer in the Layers palette. To select multiple adjacent layers, click the first layer, press the Shift key, and then click the last layer. To select all layers, choose Select All Layers. Changing order of layers. To change the order of layers, follow these steps. Click and drag the layer up or down in the Layers palette. Release the mouse button when the highlighted line appears where you want to place the layer. Renaming a layer. To rename a layer, follow these steps. Double-click the layer in the Layers palette. Type a new name. Deleting a layer. The steps to delete a layer or layers are: select one or more layers in the Layers palette. Click the Delete icon in the Layers palette. Or select Layer, Delete Layer. Flattening layers. Flattening reduces the file size by merging all visible layers into the background. Any remaining transparent areas are filled white. To flatten the layers, make sure that all the layers are visible and then select Layer, Flatten Image. Layer Effects. Photoshop provides a number of effects that let you quickly change the appearance of a layer's contents, such as shadows, glows, and bevels. To see how to apply layer effects, let us choose the image given here. Select a layer in the Layers palette. Click the Layer Style button at the bottom of the Layers palette and choose an effect from the list. Or select Layer, Layer Style, and choose an effect from the sub-menu. The Layer Style dialog box appears. Choose an effect, for example, Outer Glow, and set Effect Options. If desired, you can add another effect by clicking the checkbox to the left of the effect name. Click OK and see the result. Working with text. For typing text in a Photoshop document, we use the Type tool. When we type text in Photoshop, it is added to a separate layer called the Type layer. The steps to add text to an image are: open an image. Click the Type tool in the Tools panel. Select Font, Size, and Color in the Options bar. Click the left mouse button on the image and type the text. Notice that the type is created in a new layer. Moving text. You can move text from one position to another on the image. The steps are: select the Type layer in the Layers palette. Click the Move tool in the Tools panel. Click on the text, drag it to the desired position on the stage, and release the mouse button. Warping text. Warping lets you distort text into a variety of shapes. For example, you can warp text into the shape of an arc or a wave. The steps are: select the Type layer. Select the Type tool in the Tools panel. Click the Create Warp Text button in the Options bar. The Warp Text dialog box appears. Select a style from the Style drop-down list. In this case, we selected Arc. You can also select the orientation as horizontal or vertical. If required, specify the values for bend, horizontal distortion, and vertical distortion. Click OK to see the result of your selections. Using filters. Filters are used to add a variety of special effects to an image. You can modify the image in a number of ways. For example, you can use filters to change the look of your image by giving it the appearance of mosaic tiles, by adding lighting, or by distortion. Applying a filter. The steps to apply a filter are: to apply a filter to an entire layer, make sure that the layer is active. To apply a filter to part of a layer, select that area. Choose a filter from the submenus in the Filter menu. Fill values and select options in the dialog box. Click OK to apply the filter. Symmetry tool. Symmetry tool is a new feature in Photoshop CC 2018. Before using this tool, you need to enable this feature. Select Edit, Preferences, Technology Previews. The Preferences window appears. Select Enable Paint Symmetry checkbox. Select the Pencil tool or Brush tool. Notice the butterfly icon in the Options bar. Click the butterfly icon in the Options bar and select the type of symmetry from the menu. Here, we will select New Dual Axis. Apply brush strokes to create symmetrical designs. Select and Mask option. The steps to use Select and Mask option are: open an image. Click Select, Select and Mask option. In the Properties panel on the right, select View Mode as Overlay. The image appears as shown here. Click Quick Selection tool. Click and drag to make the selection. Creating panoramic images with Photo Merge option. The Photo Merge option of Photoshop CC 2018 combines several photographs into one continuous image. The steps to use this image are: select File, Automate, Photo Merge. The Photo Merge dialog box appears. Select Suitable Layout. Under Source Files, choose one of the following. Files. This option generates the Photo Merge composition using individual files. Folders. This option uses all the images saved in a folder to create the Photo Merge composition. To select the images, you can do the following. To use images currently open in Photoshop, click Add Open Files. To select folder of images or files, click Browse button. Click Browse button to select the files. The open window appears. Select the files and click OK button. The Photo Merge dialog box reappears with list of selected files. Click OK. Panoramic view of the selected images will be created. Let us do an activity. Now you need to apply Mosaic filter.
Congratulations! You have successfully completed this activity.